Good evening, Fiji, and welcome to For the Record. Now, this year, the Fiji Broadcasting Corporation marks its 60th year of service to Fiji. And with us this evening, we're happy to be joined by the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Riaz Said Qayyum. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Padeli. How are you?
And, well, I'm very well, thank you very much. Now, you've gone over 6 years with FBC, onto your 7th year. Now, how do you think you've fared?
I think we've done very well. There's been some amazing things that have happened in the last 6 years. FBC has gone through a bit of a transformation. Some people may say it's gone through an amazing transformation. Surely seems that way when you look at the basic infrastructure in terms of the aesthetics, the building, how it looks, and the way we operate, the staff morale, the work ethic, etc., etc. And it's all because we have a great team. We have an excellent team, mostly young people who are doing some excellent work.
Now, with your leadership, the Fiji Broadcasting Corporation has branched out to television. Now, at the beginning, when you first took on the role as CEO, what did you plan, or what did you think was the first bit of improvement, so to speak, that you wanted to take on?
Well, my job when I first started was to get radio going. I started in December 2007, and I must say, when I walked in the first day into the building, I had been living overseas, and I walked in. I was totally disgusted by what I saw because of the conditions that the staff were working under. And it is very important. Conditions are extremely important. If you don't have good conditions to work under, staff morale will always be low. People will not give in their 100%. So my first job was to ensure that we had an environment that was conducive to some really good work that could be done. And we kind of started off from there, one step at a time.
Now, with the changes in radio, we've also worked on transmission. There have been complaints and also feedback from various people from different parts of Fiji. Could you just explain a little bit about the work in terms of transmission for radio?
For radio?
And in the improvement that has been made, and why certain parts of the country in, say, the outer islands have had to make a few adjustments.
Oh, look, when I started, transmission was very bad. Look at, for example, Today FM. Today FM is a premier radio station, one of our premier commercial radio stations that has a young adult market. But the year that I started, and for a little bit after that, Today FM was only heard in Suva, and on a good day it would be heard in Nandi. So things were not right. We were not doing things right. We didn't have the right equipment. We didn't have the reach, and that was kind of across the board for all radio stations, but particularly so for Today FM. But now we have a situation where things have improved. We have spent a lot of money to get the infrastructure right. We have spent a lot of money to build new towers, new infrastructure. Really, a lot of people don't realize this, but right from the rubbish bins in the studio to the dishes on the tower is absolutely new. So from a situation where a radio station like Today FM could only cover bits of Suva and maybe on a good day bits of Nandi, to reaching out to 95% of the population is a huge achievement, and that is across the board now. So our TV reaches 95% of Fiji's population. Our radio stations, all of them, reach 95% of Fiji's population. In fact, Radio Fiji 1 reaches 100% now because of the fact that it's on AM as well. So there's been a lot done. Sometimes it's a bit of a blur because we worked at breakneck speed. For the first few years, I didn't go out anywhere. I didn't do anything. All I knew was, it was work and home and sleep, really. A bit of food in between.
Now, how much support did you find from the staff when you started and working with them now over the years?
Obviously, there were some staff that were not prepared for change, and a little percentage of them left under very amicable conditions. But those who stayed behind and those who came after that, they were, I think, confronted or faced with a kind of work ethic that I was trying to sort of install at FBC that was going to be very different from what people had been used to working under. My message always to the staff is that we're a commercial organization. We are not a government organization. We're not civil servants. We're a government-owned commercial company. We're a GCC, and we're one of the best performing GCCs in the country. So, you know, if you have the right approach, and if the work ethic and the work culture is correct, and it doesn't happen overnight, you've got to push for it and constantly push for it. But if that improves, then you've achieved more than what you want to achieve. Because when I've started, I have a very simple sort of example that I give to new staff that start. I said, when I first started at FBC, the number of people with the right work ethic were only about that much, and the ones opposite to them were quite a lot in number. And now, 6 years later, it's completely overturned. It's turned around. The people with the work ethic, the right, correct work ethic, are now in the majority, and the people who may not have the right work ethic are very, very much in the minority. In fact, we hardly have anyone like that. And anyone who works at FBC, they know if they do not have the right work ethic and adhere to the work culture that we have over here, which is to work hard, you have fun, but you play hard and you work hard at the same time. They eventually don't like it here because of the way we work, and they eventually leave. So you know, we have been constantly trying to build an organization that is going to be number one in terms of everything, in terms of how we think. We're the champions. We want to be number one at everything, and if you want to work here, and we have a long line of people wanting to work at FBC, whether it be for radio or television or any arm of television, radio within, they know that they've got to have the right attitude, that we are number one. We're always going to be number one.
How do you respond to critics that say that the Fiji Broadcasting Corporation is a government company, so therefore would not have to compete as much as a commercial company or an organization?
My God, we compete every day. We compete on a daily basis. We compete with everyone that we have to compete with. We compete with Fiji Television. We compete with CFL. I actually am taking the name on on the show because a lot of our competitors wouldn't even take our names, but we have no qualms about it. We know who our competitors are, and we compete. When we started off television, just to give you an example, it wasn't a free ride. We were going to be faced with very, very tough competition. We were going to start off a company that was going to be in competition with another company, which was in this case Fiji Television, which is a free-to-air television company, which had a 15 or 18-year head start, and that's pretty significant. It's like you running a bakery for 15 years, and a new bakery comes in. What does the new bakery do? The new bakery does whatever it can to survive, but we went beyond that. We marketed ourselves so well. We started off with such a huge rush. And we had such good programming. Our reach was bigger than anyone else. Our picture quality and our sound quality was the best in the country. And that was one of the things that people used to say to us when we started. You know, watching FBC TV is like watching a DVD because it's so clear. So we got all those fundamentals right. And within 6 months of us starting, we had become the #1 TV station in the country. And that is no small achievement. That is huge. I'm
going to have to interrupt you. We're going to take a short break, but we'll be right back to continue discussions with the development of Fiji Broadcasting Corporation over the 60 years. Welcome back to For the Record. We're speaking with FBC CEO, Mr. Riaz Said Qayyum. Just before the break, we were speaking of FBC TV. Now, some would have said that right at the beginning, you were going to start a television station. Was that in your plans when you first started it?
No, I've said this before in other interviews too. My plan was never to start a TV station. In fact, there was an existing plan for FBC with the past board and the boards previous prior to that they had this dream about starting television. And in fact, I remember in this very room, which used to be a radio studio before, we had a meeting and we had called the Prime Minister over and the then board chairman, Daniel Whippy. After we had a casual conversation with the staff and the Prime Minister was here, and Daniel said, "Oh, Mr. Prime Minister," something along the lines of, "How about television?" And I almost choked because after he had finished his conversation with the Prime Minister, I said to him, "Why did you talk about television? We've got to fix radio up first. Because there's so much work to do in radio, and the building's got to be fixed, the transmission's got to be fixed, people can't hear us properly. Why are we jumping the gun and going to television when we can't fix radio?" So there was a lot of fear in me that how could we do something in television when we haven't fixed up the first thing, which was radio. But I mean, that was in the past. We took the plunge. We were basically told, yes, yeah, if you want the support of the government in terms of a guarantee for a loan to be able to carry out a project, then you've got to do a feasibility study and find out what it'll take to not only improve radio but to start off a television as well, station as well, because the Prime Minister was of the view that we cannot be a proper public broadcaster if we did not have a television arm. Tonga's got one, Samoa's got one. Why didn't Fiji have one? We had to go down that path, and the Prime Minister was pushy that way. And in retrospect, I'm very, very glad that he was.
Okay. Well, how well do you think you've fared, the FBC TV, and also in terms of radio since then?
We've fared very well. We are now in control of the market, and I don't say it because I'm boastful about it or conceited, but it is a fact. There have been numerous surveys that have been carried out that tell us that we are number one. There was a survey that came out last year that said we had 69.7% of Fijian viewers watching FBC TV exclusively. There was a government survey that came out that said we had the majority viewership as well. It was an American company that did it for the government a couple of months ago. And also, if people don't even believe that, then all you have to do is to go to our competitors, right, whether it be radio or television, and ask them what their rates are today compared to what their rates were before this project took place. Okay. Before this project took place at FBC. Our competitors have been cutting their advertising rates drastically, in some cases by hundreds of %. So if you are number one, if you are the best, you will never cut your rates down. You will sell at a premium rate. And although we have maintained our prices, we have maintained the premium rates, our competitors, both CFL and Fiji TV, have been cutting their rates drastically. And we have proof of this from our advertisers, because some of our clients come to us and say, why can't you give us a price which is as low as our competitors? Mm-hmm. And we'll say, no, it can't be. Are they lower? Yes, they say they're lower, and they show us proof of it. And we're surprised, but we don't lower our prices because we know we've got a good product. We know the majority of the people listen to us, the majority of the people in Fiji, most Fijians, watch us. So if you're an advertiser, and if you advertise on any of our radio stations and TV, mm-hmm. you know that the majority of Fijians will be seeing your product, will be knowing about your company, will have more knowledge about your company and about your product. So why would you go and waste your money somewhere else? So the proof is in the pudding, and it's out there.
60 years of service to Fiji. There's obviously a celebration in plans for the Fiji Broadcasting Corporation. How's that coming along?
Oh, absolutely. We have been giving away lots and lots of free spots to our advertisers who have been with us through thick and thin, who've believed in us, who've believed in our product, and who have not sort of wholesale moved across to our competitors just because they've been offered a cheaper price. So we've rewarded them. We've given them lots of free spots for their friendship and for their support. We have also something that we launched this week to encourage SMEs to come on board. There's always smaller businesses and mom and pop shops around the country that have always wanted to be on radio. They've always wanted to advertise on TV, and we've got some rates that's absolutely unbeatable just for those people. For them to come forward and register with us within this week and next week. And if they do, they get lots and lots of free spots at absolutely cheap rates. And of course, on August the 2nd, we are going to have a huge party, because we like to have parties. We like to work hard, but we like to have parties as well. So we'll be inviting everyone. And as a lead up to that, the most important people, we are giving something away to them. And the most important people for us, for broadcasters in general, are the people. Is the public, is the average Fijian. So this year, because it's our 60th, it's our Diamond Jubilee, we're giving away a 1-carat diamond. It's not a necklace or anything, it's an actual stone. It's internationally certified, it's worth about, I think, $12,000. So all you have to do is write us a poem or send us a video, or send us a CD, or write make a birthday card for us and tell us what FBC means to you over the years. You know, there's a lot of people who've grown up with FBC. You know, FBC started before I was born, before you were born. So, you know, in a lot of households, FBC is like an institution. So we just want you to say what FBC means to you, and the best answer will get a 1-carat diamond. And I don't think it's ever been done before. And we are known for that. FBC is known for that, that we do things that other people don't do. You know, I remember very well when I started work at FBC, I think about 2 days after I started, and one of the broadcasters from another company said to me, oh, you know, what's FBC going to do next? You've got a huge challenge in front of you because you guys are known for copying us and copying other people around. And I didn't say much. Well, I didn't say anything really. But I think that person now knows very, very well that we don't copy. We are the trendsetters. We lead the way. We have done things in broadcasting that has never been done in broadcasting before. You know, there's 1,000,001 things. I could start naming them. You'll run out of time on your show. But people know this, and that is why we have the popularity that we have in the market right now.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back and speak of the trends at FBC and also with elections coming up. Welcome back to the show. We're with the CEO of FBC, speaking of 60 years of service to the nation. And, well, before you started your service to FBC, and how was the response towards? We spoke a little about it before we headed to the break, but how did you feel?
Well, I thought it was quite obvious that a lot of people did not give me a chance. They did not give FBC a chance. And in fact, I remember a day I was living overseas, and I got to Fiji to start the job over here. And a day before I started, we had a camera crew from Fiji Television hiding in the bushes outside my parents' house, trying to take pictures of me. And I knew these people. If I called them over, I said, "Hey, stop doing that." I said, "If you want an interview, I'll give you an interview, but let me settle into my job first." And in fact, I told everyone at that time, whoever wanted to come and talk to me, because you know, they wanted a juicy story, because you know, I had come back after all this time. I said, "Look, talk to me in 6 months' time, because by then I would have settled in, and maybe I would have, you know, I'm going to try and prove myself and see what we're going to do, and try and prove that FBC can stand on its own 2 feet." In 6 months, we recorded our first profits in a whole number of years. In fact, our profits in 6 months was more than our accumulated profits in 5 years prior to that, or something ridiculous like that. And after 6 months, I waited and waited for someone to come and interview me, and they didn't, because the fact was that people wanted a bad story. They didn't want a good success story.
Well, that's interesting that you should say that. When we head on to my next question, which is Fiji media, and as we head towards election, the coverage and the sort of what is expected of journalists now. The Fiji Broadcasting Corporation has done something that no other media organization has done. They've put out a declaration. Now, could you just explain why? Where is the need for a declaration from the media organization, and what is expected?
It's a declaration / pledge. Look, media generally across the board, everywhere, whether it be radio, television, or newspapers, or the print, you know, there's always accusations about, a particular media organization is biased or favors someone or something or the other. And some do, quite obviously, and some support, and some are definitely against certain groups and organizations and governments and all that kind of stuff. So what we thought, I mean, this is something that I've always been, it's been at the back of my mind because of my background as a journalist. I said, why not declare as a media organization what we stand for, what we support, and what we don't support. Because at the end of the day, you know, when you talk about media freedom, I mean, it's not absolute. It comes with certain responsibilities. And, you know, someone watching right now would say, aha, you know, it's censorship. It's not censorship. It's about being responsible to the society that you live in. So I thought, keeping that in mind, and in consulting our newsroom and other people at FBC, let's come up with something that is going to be a sort of a universal declaration for FBC as a responsible corporate organization to say this is what we believe in, this is what we support, and this is what we want. So I'll quickly read this. We had this in the papers, we're advertising this on radio and television as well, that we want to be the first media organization in Fiji at least, maybe even the South Pacific, maybe even beyond, I'm not too sure, that we will tell the public what we stand for, right? So as the national broadcaster, FBC News is dedicated to the following ideals. National unity, do you have a problem with that? No, I don't think so. A common identity, we are all Fijians. Do you have a problem with that?
Well, some may.
Well, but that's okay. We are taking a stand. Equality, equal rights under law for every Fijian. I'm sure no one will have a problem with that. Safety, a nation free from civil and domestic violence and abuse. And progress for the betterment of the nation at all levels through emphasis on development journalism. Because I think there's not enough development journalism going on. So our newsroom is trying to do as much development journalism as possible. Of course, that doesn't mean ignoring the accidents and the politics and the crime and all that. That all is part and parcel. But let's not forget development journalism, because that is what encourages and drives the country forward. And we build in support of these ideals the certain things. Clarity, balanced and unbiased information clearly explained. Veracity, we have the facts to support our reports, as every good journalist should. Credibility that comes through that, we can be believed and respected for what we do. Fairness, balanced coverage and the opportunity to reply. Understanding, background and analysis, we research and ask probing questions designed to highlight and reveal aspects and consequences of news stories to enlighten the public and show relevance to their lives. And we prohibit the broadcast of anything, this is what we're not going to do, we prohibit the broadcast of anything that falls under the category of hate speech. And we encourage the expression of our national language and cultures and respect the sensitivity of their customs, and never broadcast anything defamatory of a citizen, group, race or religious belief. We respect the authority of the government, law and the courts as set out by the National Constitution, and seek a peaceful course to a better future for all Fijians. And we respect the anguish of those in immediate grief and their right to privacy at such moments. What is wrong with that? What is wrong in declaring to the whole country that this is what we believe in, and this is going to form the basic fundamentals of how we operate as a media organization? I don't think anyone will have a problem with that.
Well, we're about to head into elections, and the coverage for the different political campaigns by the parties being covered by the media. Is the Fiji Broadcasting Corporation, well, some criticism that has been leveled against it as being biased and leaning more towards government? What do you say to that?
Government has never walked in here to tell us what to do. In fact, it's completely the opposite. We are not biased. We have always tried to keep our lines of communication very, very open. I've heard from the newsroom. In fact, sometimes I don't work in the newsroom. I'm upstairs, and the newsroom is downstairs. But occasionally, I would ask, I haven't seen such and such parties being represented. I've been told by people in programs and news that the leader, for instance, the leader of SEDELPA, Ro Temu Mukepa, has been invited through her people to come onto your show or to come and get interviewed on a one-on-one interview. That offer hasn't been taken up. Mr. Felix Anthony was invited on a number of occasions before he finally accepted and came on your show. So it's not like we don't invite, we're giving everyone a fair chance, but we want to have more debates and discourse. Just recently, I think the message was also sent out by a programs department for radio that to some politicians saying, look, if you want to come on the show, how about we get a politician from another party and we put them on radio and we shoot it for television anyway on Aina and Speak Your Mind and Nevakakeli. Some politicians are refusing that. They don't want to come with another politician. They want to go in there and just be the person to take over the whole show and talk about their party policies. Now, of course, everyone wants the same thing. But we're saying, let's all come together for an open discussion. And we've always wanted that. We've always encouraged that. But there are certain politicians who are not taking up the offer.
Sadly, we've run out of time on the show, Mr. Kayum. But thank you again for joining us this evening. Any final comments you'd like to make? You've got just about 30 seconds to make so.
Well, we've had a wonderful stint, FBC, 60 years. I mean, it's amazing for any broadcaster to have so much success after 6 years. And we're the fastest growing broadcaster in the country. And what really impresses me about this whole celebration is the fact that someone that was with us when we started 60 years ago in Keith Broadbridge, he started off as an engineer. He is still with us today, 60 years and still going strong. And for me, that's an incredible achievement. And I hope that everyone at FBC has that same sort of dedication. He still works with us. He comes to work every day. He doesn't do as much as he used to before, but he comes to work every day. And that's the sort of dedication and consistency that we want at FBC, which will make us not even, apart from being the best broadcaster in Fiji at the moment that we are, but the best broadcaster in the region and beyond.
Unfortunately, that's all we have time for this evening. Watch out for us next week as we introduce an exciting new format to our show. We continue the countdown to the September elections, and keeping with the tradition of firsts it's renowned for, FBC are yet again creating history in Fijian broadcasting. For the Record is adapting a new format that involves a panel of presenters interviewing one or several guests on our new extended show from 6:30 to 7:30 every Sunday evening. That's from next Sunday for 1 whole hour. So with this new and exciting format, we will strive to uncover all the facts and information that matters to you. For questions and comments, please send them to fortherecord@fbc.com.fj. Stay with us as we enter a new chapter in the development of For the Record and media in Fiji. Until next week, good night, Fiji.